All right, in the second part of our webinar today, I'm going to briefly highlight three resources: IFMaps, our EFarm Management Library, and our Borrower Training course. So to give you an idea of what IFMaps is about, a couple of years ago, I was planning a remodel of my kitchen and living area, and I was just stuck on how to get to where I wanted to be, despite conversations with a couple of home builders, remodelers, and a conversation with a friend led me to a recommendation for a consultant, and that consultant gave me a new idea that helped me solve my problem. And it was a great investment. So it was a fresh set of eyes, and I think that's what IFMaps brings to cases. So having someone with an objective outside view to look at the finances can spur thinking about things in different ways and perhaps challenge producers to look at ways to better their financial situation that they may not have in the past. So IFMaps has been around for about 30 years now. It's evolved over time, so it's shifted from a program that was subsidized by government grants and pass-throughs from the state legislature, so it's now fee-based entirely. You can see the costs are $500 for a relatively straightforward case that may take less than 15 hours. More complicated cases will cost more depending on the length of and the amount of time that's involved in doing that. We have a 1-800 number that producers can call to get in touch with a financial specialist that can work with them one-on-one to develop budgets, to develop financial statements, and to evaluate alternative plans. So while we do take referrals from lenders, or lenders may choose to refer producers to IFMaps, the producer has to be the one that initiates the interest in working with IFMaps to look at their financial situation. So the options for change, which is the title of our webinar today, haven't changed over time. There's often no magic bullets to solve people's problems. So it's going methodically through the different alternatives and thinking about how to assess the potential impact of them, to look at how much they really can contribute to changing the financial circumstances, and looking for the ideal mix in the end. So typically belt tightening has already been done. There may be opportunities by presenting information on benchmarks that gives them a notion that perhaps they could do better in controlling cost if their cost of production is much higher than the average producer. Insurance protection may be recommended. So even if you're not in financial trouble, a disaster can create financial problems, and so making sure that you have the right mix of insurance can be important. There may be ways to increase farm returns, whether it's achieving a better price through some value-added marketing type programs, looking at underutilized assets that might be sold, looking at changes in enterprise mix, so getting a handle of where the profit and loss centers are in the farm can be insightful. So it may mean that you shrink one enterprise to expand another. So you shrink wheat acreages in favor of some alternative crops, for example. Changes in asset ownership may be appropriate. So if you've got a lot of machinery, or producer has a lot of machinery and equipment that's perhaps underutilized, either because of the scale of the farm or it can be used in other ways to generate additional income, then either supplementing the income through custom work may be a possibility, or it may be make more financial sense to sell the machinery and equipment and have work done through custom operators or custom farm work. Debt restructuring or rescheduling may be something that's necessary if all these other things have been tried and come up short. It requires both a willing lender as well as a borrower who's willing to perhaps pay more over a rescheduled time period in order to pay off the loan. Equity infusions are less common perhaps in agriculture than in other small businesses, but if there's an off-farm heir or someone else who wants to help out in a cash flow crunch, outside money can be brought into the operation perhaps for a share of ownership. Partial liquidation or liquidation are kind of the extreme examples and a last resort in many cases, but can help to resolve some problems. So IFMAP's analyses are not only focused on financially stressed situations, it can often be just looking at things in a different way, trying to do things better. But it may mean, and here's some specific examples of related to the evaluating options that I showed in the previous slide. So what's the income likely to be if we are thinking about retirement or perhaps scaling down the herd or even changing livestock enterprises? Can I buy something new, machinery and equipment, land? What are going to be the resulting loan payments associated with that? What's the cash flow going to be associated with that? So will it not only pay in the long run, but can I meet my loan obligations in the short run? Same thing with a new enterprise. If I want to add goats to help take care of brush or weed problems on the farm, how's that going to impact my finances? Perhaps I have a son or daughter who's interested in coming back. Are there ways that we could change the operation and earn enough income to support a second generation? The FMAP's financial statements often serve as documentation for loan applications, for diversification grants, for instance, from the Oklahoma Department of Ag, Food, and Forestry, or other sources. The process is straightforward, much like the one that Ag Mediation uses. You call the 800 number. We assign the case to a local IFMAP specialist through our Stillwater office. That person then contacts the producers to describe the information that needs to be collected. It is, after all, the producer's plan, so they have to provide some records to support their history, but also to understand fully the current situation. So the producer gathers and summarizes the farm records. They then agree to meet at a mutually convenient time, often at the producer's place of business. Our IFMAP specialists use some computer software to develop the budgets and financial statements. Then they sit down with the producer to review them. So part of the process is to confirm that the data is correct, but also then to provide their insights into the financial situation, what's likely to be the financial performance, and changes in the financial situation with a continuation of the plan. They may also discuss some alternatives, so looking at selling assets, looking at financing in different ways. And so the alternative plan discussion is often an important part of that process. So farmers and ranchers have been overwhelmingly positive about the experience with IFMAPs because, again, it gives them insights that they may not have considered. It challenges them to think in different ways, and it gives them a roadmap to a better future ahead. So so we encourage people to consider calling IFMAPs if they need some help in putting together financial statements. Dr. Rodney Jones and Brent and I this past year, along with some of our area specialists and colleagues in other departments, have invested quite a bit of time in developing resources for a website that we've called EFarm Management. And so this website catalogs a lot of resources that we've developed over time in what we hope is a user-friendly way. You can see that while the focus is on financial management topics, there are also crop and livestock topics here as well. So I've, for demonstration purposes, clicked on the Developing a Farm Business Plan and done a screen capture there. So you can see that the components on this website include not only short videos, but PowerPoints associated with those videos. So you can look at the PowerPoint and see if it's a subject that you want to explore a bit more. We've also stripped the audio from those videos to create podcasts. So if you're driving a tractor and don't have the appropriate internet access or data plan, then you can listen to the audio for that component. So in this case, you can see that we've got 3 short videos. We've got the PowerPoints associated with them, audio, and a software tool link there as well. So when it's appropriate, you'll see links to all those resources, as well as some additional publications and other resources, including websites, in the links section below. So this is accessible and available to anyone free, so people who might be interested in enhancing their understanding of farm finances, agricultural finance topics can access these resources at any time. A parallel resource is for borrowers who may need to earn FSA Borrower Training credit. This is a more formal online course in Brightspace, not formal in that you can't get college credit for it, but formal in that the participants will take quizzes and do exercises, complete homeworks that are graded and scored so that we can document for FSA increases in skills and levels of understanding in the course to meet the requirements there. The cost for the FSA Borrower Training component is $150. You can see that there are 18 required topics on financial management, plus an additional 7 segments that are of the participant's choice. Brent Ladd's helping manage this for us, and so his contact information is here. His email and phone number are there. So some of the topics that you saw in EFarm Management are mirrored here. So you can see the plan is categorized for both crop producers and for livestock producers. So it's laid out to address appropriate needs of both of those parties. And so crop topics include things like crop insurance and NAP, grain production basics, grain marketing, commodity farm programs, and then livestock topics are more appropriate, focusing on basics of cow-calf production, livestock marketing, and so on. So again, for each of those topics, once you log into Brightspace, and this may be a little unfamiliar if you haven't been in a campus course in the last 10 years, but many courses on campus now are hosted in a course management software like this. And so you'll see a landing page like this that provides access to all the resources in the course. And in addition to the course components, we're trying to keep participants alerted to things like the webinar series today in which you're participating. So the drilling down into the course content, this is an example for the farm cash flow topic. You'll see that there are videos there, there are fact sheets, there are exercises, and so you'll click on those associated links to access the exercises, to complete the exercises, and to submit them. Then you'll get a grade on those, and through completion of all the exercises and quizzes over time, you'll become certified as having completed the FSA Borrower Training course. So that's just some quick insights into those 3 things that we wanted to mention that complement and hopefully provide resources to people who are either interested in farm management or concerned about their financial management skills and want to invest a little bit of time and energy in improving them. So the key is in agricultural management to be proactive, to take advantage of opportunities to improve before problems become unmanageable. And so by diagnosing the problem, getting a handle on whether it's something that's temporary or it's something that's a problem in the short run but perhaps not the long run, and understanding whether the causes are external or internal. If they're external, then perhaps you can do things like take advantage of insurance to manage them. If they're internal, then that may require that you make changes. And so the challenge is to identify what are the appropriate things. So you want to look not just at the problems and the symptoms associated with that, but the potential causes. And so really digging into some options for change is important. And then going beyond the evaluation and the planning to actually implement that. So